Before we get into it, just want to say that this episode is presented by FanDuel. Guys, the NFL season is among us. It's here. And college football is here. We will have football on every weekend leading up to February. So that's just beautiful, man. Beautiful. It's a wonderful time. It's time, and we have betting options now, and FanDuel, they have a lot of great ones, man. The Indianapolis Colts, slight favorite. If you guys are thinking that you guys want to test your luck, be sure to check out FanDuel once again. Thank you, guys. What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, we're bringing you a Colts versus Titans Week 3 preview. We have a very special guest. You have seen him on this channel numerous times at this point. Titan Rossi, also my co-host on the AFC South Roundtable. So if you guys haven't been watching the roundtables, you guys want to go over there and check that out. It's great weekly entertainment. Rossi, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. I had a little meltdown of sorts on the roundtable. Had a moment this past weekend. It's been a lot of losing in Nashville. It's been a lot of losing. 3-16 over the last 2 seasons. It's been rough, but I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, man. I understand. I understand your feeling. You guys ended up with the number 1 overall pick, and you obviously selected Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami, with that pick. And, so far through the first 2 weeks, the Titans still 0-2. They put together some decent minutes in some decent areas, but overall, it's still not translating to wins right now. How are you feeling about the Titans in this moment as as we head into almost the first quarter of the season?
I'm not feeling too great. Honestly, the only thing that kind of gives me hope, honestly, is the potential of Cam Ward. You know, um, right now the team it's just not a very motivated team. Like you get a good half out of them, maybe 2.5 quarters, something like that, and they just kind of seem to fold after that. And it just doesn't seem like there's just a lot of motivation right now, like within the organization, from upper management to the players to the fans. And it's quite frankly a kind of a crappy scenario, a crappy situation right now. But like I said, I mean, Cam Ward gives me hope. I think he gives a lot of fans hope. And it's not, you look at the first couple games, has his stats been, way out there? No. But he's made some plays where you think, this guy might have something.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense there. And obviously, everybody was talking about that highlight throw he made last year to his teammate. So that was obviously great. But like Derek said, obviously the results haven't been there in terms of wins and losses. You mentioned just some of the frustration. I'm curious, what's been some of the biggest frustrations with the Titans so far? Again, a team that was obviously picking number 1 overall, so you knew there was going to be some rough moments at times. But what's been the frustrating part where you maybe came into the season expecting better and you've come away maybe a little disappointed through the first 2 weeks?
I think, honestly, it's just a continuation of last year where fans thought things would get improved. Now, Brian Callahan came into the job as a first-year head coach. And quite frankly, a lot had been made when he became head coach because he didn't call plays in Cincinnati. He was kind of like an offensive assistant. Who's the coach there? Zach, what's his name?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. And Taylor, backed him and said, well, he's part of every planning process. He's definitely part of the plays. I go over my headset and I ask him, hey, what should we do here? Things like that. But Brian Callahan never called the plays. Well, he's calling the plays now for the Titans offense. It's not Nick Holtz, the offensive coordinator. It's Brian Callahan, and the play calling has been absolutely atrocious. Now, and I tried to look at this too from a broader perspective, because who is the first person you criticize when the offense is not playing well? I mean, typically the quarterback or the offensive coordinator, right? And right now I can't put a lot of blame on Cam Ward, because he's a rookie, and he's really been putting the ball in places that are pretty good for his receivers. There's been like 12 drops over the first two games, which is insane. Um, but it's the play calling. It's very I almost liken it to like going to see a high school team, like a wing T offense, like the rush plays, run left to center, run right to center, like no tosses, no sweeps, no counters. It's crazy. They ran an end around last week, which I was like, whoa, what are we doing? And it's like even the pass plays, very long developing routes, kind of putting your quarterback in harm's way. Now, some of that is Cam holding on to the ball a little long, and he's admitted that. But some of that also has to do with these type of route concepts that they're running, and it's just it's very disappointing, because you expect some improvement, and it almost seems like he's backslidden when it comes to play calling, and he's got a more dynamic quarterback to play with.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
And sticking with your offense here, and then we can get into more specifics here. It, I mean, Rossi, your offense through the first 2 weeks has put up 390 yards of offense in the first two
tough.
weeks. And now I will understand a little bit, to the sense that you played the Denver Broncos first week out. That's very difficult to do. And then playing the Rams, even though you were at home. But I mean, the crazy part is the Indianapolis Colts had 470 yards of offense against Denver just this last week. And that didn't even
Dude, they
include
haven't
the
even
yeah, that
punted.
didn't even include the 450 we got against Miami the week prior to that. So, I mean, this is a situation here where, this is an offense that is struggling with, finding any kind of pace right now. And for the most part, you guys haven't scored 20 points yet this year. How confident are you that
No.
this Tennessee Titans team, even if you're at home, going against this Colts team that, is averaging 31 points a game right now? I mean, you got to imagine they probably get it lower than that, maybe, but how confident are you in this offense to score 24 points against this Colts defense on Sunday?
I'm not confident at all. I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, I'm one of those fans, like, I could sit here and try and be a real fanboy and say this and that and all this, but in all reality, I mean, look at the situation. And the Titans have struggled even scoring 17 plus points a game over the last two seasons. It's been absolutely atrocious, and really awful. And yeah, I don't have the confidence right now. And honestly, I don't think the Colts haven't even punted, have
Nope,
they?
we haven't punted yet. We the one
I mean,
time
they
we
haven't
did
punted.
go to punt against Miami, we did punt, but there was a flag that gave us a first down, so that punt didn't count, and then we haven't punted since.
Right. And and that stat right there should tell you all you need to know about how good the Indianapolis Colts offense is playing right now. And I almost kind of, it kind of reminds me of, with Daniel Jones, like Ryan Tannehill, his resurgence, goes to a new team, a different organization. And the guy, I mean, the guys look great. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not one of those people to say, oh, well, he's still Daniel Jones, because right now he's not showed us any otherwise. He's not showed us that he is the old Daniel Jones yet. I'm sure he's going to make mistakes eventually and this and that. Hopefully it happens against the Titans. But, I mean, right now he's playing really good ball. And Jonathan Taylor is playing some of the best ball of his. I mean, he's looking great. I mean, he's looking like almost prime Jonathan Taylor. And that's dangerous when you have that guy looking that way. I'd say he's looked better than he has in a long time. Not that he hasn't looked good over the last few years, but he's really killing it right now. And if that defense doesn't stop Jonathan Taylor, I mean, you got to stop Daniel Jones to begin with. But if you don't stop Jonathan Taylor, you're especially screwed. And then Tyler Warren, who I'm super impressed with, who I kind of wanted in Tennessee myself. And then I've always loved Michael Pittman. Um, so it is a tough matchup for the Titans. I don't look at the Colts. Even if you look back to last season, they were a middle of the road type of team when you talk about the record and this and that. But the Colts always fought. It seemed like to the very end, even in the games last season, they just needed that it factor. They needed that one guy. They needed that quarterback. And Daniel Jones, if he can continue this type of play for you guys, y'all could have a really good season, especially if Jonathan Taylor continues to do what he's doing. I just don't see, with the Titans. Look, the one thing that I think that the Titans could have going for them in this game is the Colts pass rush hasn't been that great this season so far. So, if that's something that continues and the Titans can exploit that. On the other hand, the Titans offensive line is, guess what? Banged up as always. JC Latham, we don't know when he's coming back, if he's coming back. I mean, they've had guys in there. I think what's his name? Zeitler has been hurt here and there, or other starting guard. So really, if there's a game that you want, to get your pass rushing back going, it's probably against the Titans. So kind of a double-edged sword here.
Yeah, and I know Tennessee has struggled offensively, Rossi, for the first 2 weeks, but like you said, that pass rush, right? Like, what do you think that Tennessee could start doing in order to, depending obviously on Indianapolis, and we saw how, Denver picked on some of the players in that secondary, specifically Xavier Howard last week. So as far as that goes, and Indianapolis struggled a little bit to stop the run as well. So it does seem like there are opportunities here for Tennessee if they need to. I know it's not been great so far, but what are some things that you think that maybe Tennessee can do outside of, helping to protect Cam Ward to expose this Colts defense that honestly in that first half against the Broncos looked like a bottom defense? I mean, they really did. So how do you think Tennessee maybe can potentially exploit some of those weaknesses we saw last week? Obviously Indianapolis week 1, we saw what they did against Miami, but last week they looked a little bit more like an average to below average defense. So what do you think Tennessee could do maybe on the flip side to maybe start getting some of those things going for them?
I think, they got to find ways to get Cam Ward going. I mean, and to me, a lot of it goes back to the play calling too. They got to get Cam Ward outside of the pocket, let him do what he likes to do. And also, they need to get Tony Pollard going. I mean, they haven't been able to really get the run game going, and it's not really a matter of, honestly, it's just a matter of, a lot of it has to do with play calling. I hate to keep going. I hate to blame that, but it does. It really does. And I think the Titans need to get creative in this game, and they need to think outside the box, get Cam Ward outside the pocket. I think Cam Ward can, I think it's going to take him half the season to really get in his own and start going. But if you can get him out of the pocket, have him make a few plays in here and there. I mean, the Titans, I don't think they've had a pass play over like 20 yards yet, which is crazy. And it's been bad. And, Calvin Ridley needs to step up. Like, it's getting ridiculous. Calvin Ridley looked fantastic in training camp, and he's had like 5 drops already. It's just unbelievable. But there's a guy, Alec Eilmanner, the Titans rookie wide receiver, who had a really good game last week. And I think that's somebody they could potentially lean on in this game as well, who could get you a few type of game changing plays if needed. So, it's just the Titans. I feel like they could potentially move the ball. I think getting the run game going early is going to be key against you guys, and kind of maintaining that throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, and no doubt, I mean, just getting a young quarterback, in a comfortable situation, as comfortable as you can make him. I mean, obviously behind an offensive line that's still not that great, and weapons that are, letting him down consistently. You don't want to keep asking him to have to lead the offense. You want to make the offense easier for him to get him more comfortable. And then once he becomes more comfortable, then you start opening it up, which I agree. I don't think the Titans have really been doing that to the fullest of their extent. I want to ask you about your defense here, Rossi, because we obviously know Tennessee has a very good defense. No doubt about it. Say what you want about their record. You might have a top 10 defense still, to be honest with you. At times they play really, really good. They play lights out. But you're coming against a Colts offense that just saw, maybe the best defense in the NFL in the Denver Broncos. And obviously we saw what they did. I mean, we were still able to score on 7 of our 9 possessions that we had. So, and the other thing too with it is just we saw Denver and Miami throw every blitz package they could possibly throw at Daniel Jones. And ultimately, it still didn't matter. It didn't really take apart Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones has been so locked in. It doesn't seem to really be bothering him right now. So you see a defense like Denver get exposed against this Colts offense. Obviously, with your really good defense, you guys just played Denver. I mean, what do you think your defense needs to do to finally be the first team to slow down this Colts offense right now?
Right. I mean, I think they got to get pressure. And I mean, Jeffrey Simmons has been playing lights out for the first 2 games. And I think, they got to get pressure on Daniel Jones and kind of, maybe force him to make some mistakes. I mean, they've had the defense has had 3 interceptions. I mean, and that's the thing too with L'Jarius Sneed had a really bad game last game, and we really need him to step up. And that secondary is supposed to be the Titans kind of uh bright spot on that defense, cuz I mean you got Roger McCreary, you got Brownlee, you got Sneed. The problem has also been with the penalties. The Titans are number 1 in penalties right now, and they're just or number 2, number 1 or number 2. And that's something that's harkened back to last season that's really, really hurt them. Sneed with the penalties, Brownlee with the penalties, the crucial personal fouls, even Jeffrey Simmons having some stupid fouls and stuff like that really hurts the team. He hurt the team big time at the end of the Denver game with a really stupid, childish personal foul that potentially gave them a chance to tie that game at the end of the game. So penalties, they need to play a clean game, and they need to play 4 quarters. That's been the problem. The issue is the offense has been so bad when you get into the 3rd quarter and the defense has been on the freaking field the whole game. They're worn out, man. And they don't have the depth to just go, go, go. And so, I mean, the offense, we need to what I think is the winning key to this game if the Titans are going to win this game is controlling the clock and finding a way to control the clock, keep the ball out of the Colts offense, keep their offense off the field, and get pressure on Daniel Jones and hope that you force a couple mistakes here and there, whether that's a fumble, whether that's strip sack, whatever, interception, and cut out the penalties. I could see this game being a close game just because these two teams are who they are, right? I mean, two of the biggest division rivals. I could see them really taking it close up into the late third quarter, something like that. And the Titans have their work cut out for them.
Well, I'm curious because obviously we saw what Tennessee did, even though they didn't win. What you guys did against Bo Nix in that offense. I mean, limited them. I know there's a couple plays they made there that ultimately decided it, but when you look at that, I mean, I felt like for the most part did as much as you could against Bo Nix in terms of making him uncomfortable, making him throw a couple bad passes, and then outside of one big RJ Harvey run, it felt like he did a pretty decent job at stopping the run as well. So, what does Tennessee need to do then? To maybe copy that formula and get back to how they were looking defensively in week one. Again, the Colts offense that's been humming, but there's still opportunities because we've seen Tennessee at least show signs, like Derek said, of being a top 10 defense at times. So what do they need to do maybe to get back their mojo from week one?
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to focus on stopping Jonathan Taylor first and foremost. I think they can do it. I think they have the personnel to do it. And I think that's going to be first and foremost is stopping Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you want to, I hate to say this because Daniel Jones has been playing so well, but I mean, you want to try and make Daniel Jones beat you. I think that's the best chance you have at winning the football game. The only issue is, the Titans have had issues guarding the middle of the field. This goes back to last season too. So, I mean, you got guys like Tyler Warren who can really hurt you, and that's where the Titans are lacking in that linebacker position. To really have somebody, they need to put somebody on or double team or whatever Tyler Warren, because I think he's a guy that could really hurt you. So I think, that's key is guarding Tyler Warren, making sure he's wrapped up, and then stopping the run first and foremost, and getting some pressure on Daniel Jones.
Yeah. So, again, Rossi, we appreciate you coming in here, man. Cody, do you have any other questions you want to ask Rossi before we hop into a score prediction?
Nope. Let's do it.
All right. Rossi, we always let the guests go first here on a score prediction for these games.
Right.
So give us your score prediction for Colts versus Titans.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of my score on the round table last night, and I think I had said, what did I say? I think I said 27-17, the Colts. And here's my thinking behind it. I think the Titans are going to play them close. I think it's going to be a close game, possibly even going into the start of the fourth quarter. I mean, it is at home, but I will tell you, there are going to be a lot of Colts fans there. It's a 5-hour drive. If you look at how many Rams fans were in the stadium, I mean, it was terrible. Now, there are a lot of people from California who live here. There are a lot of past St. Louis Rams fans around here too, because it was 4 hours away and when we didn't have a team. But I do see a lot of Colts fans showing up to this one. They typically always travel well to Tennessee. And honestly, that stadium just hasn't had much pop. So I'm not really looking at the crowd to make a difference. But it being at home, you still have the home field advantage. It's still their home stadium. But I think it's going to be one of those games that are kind of, maybe like 17-17 going into the fourth, kind of just holding up there. And I think the defense holds up for a while, but I think the Colts I think the Titans do what they always do in the past couple games. I don't think that gets fixed yet. I think it's still in growing pains. And what I expect to see right now, all I'm looking at really honestly this season, and it's sad to say, is Cam Ward the guy? Is he the man? And I want to see him improve week in and week out. I want to see what he does every week. Um, I don't know if Brian Callahan can get that out of him, if he's the guy for that, but that's what I want to see. But I think that he's going to make some plays this game. I think they're going to look a little better on offense. This is the game for them to do it, but yeah, man, I'm thinking it's going to be like 17-17 going into the fourth, maybe 17-14 Colts lead. And then the Colts just kind of run away with it in the fourth because the defense is going to be on the field the whole the whole second half or something like that. And I don't think it's going to be an absolute blowout or anything like that. But I just think the Colts, I think the Colts are a good foot. I'm not just saying that because I'm on this channel, because you guys are my buddies, but too, behind the scenes. Not that y'all probably want to admit that to your fans, but um, I do think the Colts have a good team. I mean, look at the Colts roster. I mean, if you really look at their roster, um, you know, Quiddy Pay, Kenny Moore, Latu, all the people, their offensive line is notoriously good. Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Jonathan Taylor. Who else do
Josh
you got in the
Downs.
receiving? Josh Downs. I love Josh Downs. Mo Alley Cox. Then you got Tyler Warren. You guys got a good roster. You know what I mean? So I think Kenny Moore, I always liked him a lot. DeForest Buckner, Zaire Franklin's been playing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's still been playing.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, you guys got a good roster, man. And if y'all can keep this up with Jones and I mean, look, you don't with the roster that you guys have, it's not necessarily like you need Daniel
No.
Jones to be Peyton Manning. Like you just need to be him to be a good, solid quarterback who doesn't make mistakes and can help move the ball down the field. With that, I mean, you guys could be a pretty darn good football team this year. I see you guys continuing that this Sunday. I see the Titans falling to 0-3, and that's a crappy place to be, but it
I would
is what it
say
is.
I hope that's not a trap. I hope he's not speaking it into existence. This is just it's just a different feel though. It's a different feel. This team has a different feel
Yeah.
than what it normally has felt like in years past when these divisional games they keep it close. All right, Cody, your turn.
So yeah, I kind of had this score in mind. I threw around a couple different scores, but I kind of just kept landing on this one. I agree with you, Rossi. I think early on Tennessee's going to do what they've done. They're going to hang around. It's going to look a little closer. But I think Indy, at the end of the day, they're going to pull away. Getting Charvarius Ward back at corner is going to be huge for them. It seems like he is trending in the right direction so far. So hopefully that does continue. I mean, that was a huge loss last week, and we saw what Denver was able to do against that. So getting him and Latu back, I think, would be huge for this defense. And I do think, like you said, the Colts offense has just been humming the way they have. And just seeing what they've done, especially last week against Denver, I was really impressed by what they did moving the football and just continuing to be very efficient. So my final score prediction here is going to be Colts 31, Titans 16. I think it is close. They're maybe going into the third quarter or, even going to the fourth quarter. And then, Indianapolis just puts together a couple methodical drives. They take up a good chunk of the clock in that third and fourth quarter like they've done. And they just continue to put it away. And ultimately, I think the Colts go to 3-0, like we said there. So I had that 31-16 prediction.
All right. And Rossi kind of took my prediction. That number is a pretty dang good number, I think. I'll go with 27-13 Colts here. I don't think the Colts hit the 30 marker. I give Tennessee's defense a little more credit than that. I think the Colts will get a couple touchdowns, get a couple field goals because our kicker, and it's funny, Rossi, because our two teams, we have the two best kickers in the league. Sly is a perfect 8 for 8, and Schrader is a perfect 9 for 9. And we have the most field goals made of any of the teams so far in these. So that's funny to think about. So there probably will be a lot of field goals in this game because both defenses are going to find ways to keep both teams out of the end zone at times. But I think that right now the Colts can move the ball down the field a lot more efficiently than the Tennessee Titans can. So, yeah, 27-13 for me. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's going to do it for this one. Again, shout out to Titan Rossi for hopping in. Let the people know, Rossi, where they can find you at.
Yeah, so I mean, y'all can find me on the Titan Upload Network. On YouTube, you can find me on X at Titans Rossi. You can also find me every Tuesday. Well, some Tuesday nights on the AFC South Roundtable. Mike kind of fills in here and there, but usually I'm on there Tuesday nights as well. And yeah, that's where you can find me. We do watch parties. We do videos practically daily for the most part. But yeah, rocking
All
and
right.
rolling, man.
Well, that's going to do it for this one. Again, shout out to you, Rossi. Good luck on Sunday, but not too much luck. I know you don't want this Andrew Luck because obviously that was a bad omen for you. So, anyways, 11-0. Sorry, had to just do it.
Don't remind
All
me.
right.
Don't
Well,
remind
that's
me.
going to do it
He
for this
did. He
one.
did
Again,
remind me.
folks, let us know your thoughts on this game coming up here next Sunday. Thank you guys so much. And as always, go Colts.